Rami sat alone in his small apartment, the glow of the computer screen lighting up his tired face. Empty coffee cups were scattered around his desk. His eyes were red from long hours of work, but he didn't care anymore. He had made games for 10 years, and he was tired. Every project was the same: big companies, long nights, and no fun. "This will be my last game," he whispered. But this game was different. He wasn't working for a company this time. It was just for him. The idea came to him as a joke. What if I make an alien dating sim? He had laughed to himself. But the more he thought about it, the more fun it sounded. Not a boring human romance story. Something weird. Something fun. He named it Galactic Hearts. The dating game would let a player meet and talk with different alien species. Rami didn't want the aliens to look like humans with funny ears. No. His aliens were truly strange. One had floating jelly arms. Another spoke only in colors. One looked like a small mountain with eyes. Each alien had a name, a backstory, and their own personality. Rami used an AI writing tool to help make their dialogue feel alive. He also added a powerful VR system, something he had been testing. It let the player stand in the game world and talk to the aliens like real people. "This is ridiculous," Rami said as he coded the last line. "No one will ever play this." Still, it made him smile. Late that night, Rami finished building the first version of the game. He saved the files, closed his laptop, and leaned back in his chair. The apartment was quiet. Outside, thunder rumbled in the distance. He didn't notice the strange pulse of light on his screen. A line of unknown code appeared, then disappeared. His computer fan spun faster for a second, then calmed. Rami stood up and stretched. "I'll test it tomorrow," he muttered. "Right now, I need sleep." He didn't know what was coming. The next morning, Rami woke up to the sound of something falling. He sat up fast. His heart beat quick. He heard another sound, like footsteps, but he lived alone. He walked slowly to his living room and stopped. There, standing in front of his VR station, was a tall creature with bright pink skin, long hair like seaweed, and big golden eyes. She blinked at him and smiled. "Good morning, creator," she said cheerfully. Rami froze. What are you?" "I am Zara of Moonlight Clan, third character of Route B." "You made me." She stepped forward and looked around. "This place is strange. Is this Earth?" He stared at her. She was exactly like the character he designed. Zara, the flirty alien diplomat from a water planet. Same voice, same style, same personality. "This can't be real," he whispered, but it was. Before he could ask more, he heard a loud thump. A small rock-shaped alien with glowing red eyes rolled out from behind the couch. "I do not trust this environment," it said in a deep voice. "No gravity plates, no light crystals." That was Thonks, another character. Then came more. One floated through the wall, humming. Another crawled on the ceiling. One stood silently near the window, studying the street below. Rami's knees felt weak. He sat down. "This is a dream," he told himself. But Zara touched his arm. Her hand felt real, warm, soft. "We are real now," she said kindly. "You gave us life. Why are you surprised?" I made you. You were in the game. You shouldn't be here." "But we are," said Thonks. "Explain." Rami looked at his computer. It was still on. The game had crashed, and lines of strange code blinked on the screen. A small error box showed a message. "External signal detected. Connection complete." "What signal?" Rami whispered. Zara tilted her head. "We remember a bright light, a pulling feeling. Then, this place." The aliens began exploring the apartment. One tasted his shampoo. Another turned on the TV and screamed at the cartoon animals. Thonks sat on the microwave like a throne. Rami held his head. This is not possible. Yet it was. He checked the VR system. The power logs showed a strange spike during the night. His backup server was full of new files, none of which he had made. Something had changed the game. Something had brought his characters to life. Later that day, Rami sat on the floor, the aliens talking around him. Zara offered him a blanket. "You are in shock," she said. "Maybe eat something." "I don't get it," he said slowly. "You're not just talking like characters. You're thinking. You're alive." Thonks gave a proud grunt. "Yes, and we remember everything from the game. Our pasts, our dreams, even our romance paths." Rami blinked. "Romance paths?" Zara smiled again. "Oh, yes. I think I was programmed to fall in love with you." He nearly fainted. She leaned close. "Should we start the first date now?" "No!" Rami shouted, standing up. "No dates! I need to fix this." The aliens all stared at him. He rubbed his forehead. "Something weird is happening. I don't know how, but you're all real. And if others find out, people might take you, or try to shut this down." Zara crossed her arms. "You made us. Will you now destroy us?" Rami didn't answer. Outside, thunder rumbled again. He looked at the group of strange but charming aliens, all waiting for his decision, and for the first time in years, Rami didn't feel so alone. Rami sat at his desk, his hands shaking as he typed on the keyboard. The alien characters, his own creations, were now real and walking around his apartment. Zara stood behind him, watching the screen with wide eyes. "So this is where you made us?" she asked softly. "Yes," Rami said, his voice low. "But I never meant for this to happen." He checked the VR engine logs again. A strange signal had appeared during the night. It wasn't from his software. It came from outside, some unknown source that connected to his game. Somehow, that signal had given his characters real bodies, real thoughts, and real memories. He looked over at Thonks, who was trying to take apart the blender. "Stop that," Rami said. Thonks blinked slowly. "I am testing human technology." "That's not how you test things, that's how you break things." Thonks rolled away, grumbling in a deep voice. "Weak design." Across the room, a floating alien named Vila was painting on the walls, using tomato ketchup she found in the fridge. Her body shimmered with glowing colors, and she laughed as the red paint dripped down. "Art is freedom," she said. Rami sighed. This wasn't just a small problem. Anymore, his entire apartment was turning into a sci-fi playground. If anyone outside saw this, they would call the police, or worse, the government. Suddenly, Rami heard a knock at the door. His heart jumped. "Stay quiet," he hissed to the aliens. "Hide!" Zara raised her eyebrows. "Are we in danger?" "I don't know, just go." The aliens quickly scattered. Vila floated into the closet. Thonks rolled under the bed. Zara jumped behind the curtains. Rami opened the door a crack. It was his neighbor, old Mr. Khan, from across the hall. "Rami Beta, are you okay?" the man asked. "I heard strange sounds, and the lights in your windows were changing colors all night." Rami forced a smile. Yeah, just testing a new VR game. You know, space stuff." Mr. Khan squinted. "You kids and your space games. Sounds like aliens are moving in." Rami laughed nervously. "No aliens here, sir." After a long pause, Mr. Khan nodded and walked away. Rami closed the door and locked it quickly. "You can come out now," he said. The aliens stepped back into view, all acting as if nothing had happened. Zara walked to him and placed a hand on his shoulder. "You look worried," she said softly. "I am," Rami replied. "If someone else sees you, they'll panic. I don't even know how this happened yet." Vila floated up beside him. "You brought us to life. Shouldn't you be proud?" "I don't even know if it was me," he said. Something else connected to the game. Something big. Maybe from another world. Zara nodded slowly. I remember when I came here, it felt like I was pulled through a door of light. There was music, and code, and a voice. A voice? Rami asked. She nodded again. Yes, it said, connection found. Testing host compatibility. Then I appeared in your world. Rami's eyes widened. That's not in any of my game files. The next morning, things got worse. Zara was missing. Rami woke up to find the front door open and the wind blowing through the hallway. He ran outside in panic. She was gone. No, 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 he whispered. If she talks to people or gets caught... He checked his phone. A message from Vila appeared on his developer chat app. Zara went to find clothing like yours. She wants to blend in with locals. Sorry. Rami grabbed his bag and ran out the door. Meanwhile, Zara walked happily through a small shopping street downtown. She had changed her appearance slightly, using her alien tech to make her skin look more human, but her eyes still shimmered gold. She wore one of Rami's jackets and a pair of jeans, looking a little strange, but not too different from a stylish tourist. She stared at everything. Colorful shops, cars, people laughing, vendors selling food. It's so alive, she whispered. Earth is beautiful, a small girl pointed at her. Mommy, that lady has sparkly eyes. Zara smiled and waved. Then she saw a store window filled with mannequins, stylish clothes, sparkly shoes. Zara walked in. The shopkeeper looked up. Can I help you? Zara grinned. Yes, I want clothes. Beautiful earth clothes. The shopkeeper blinked. Sure. What size? Zara tilted her head. Size? What is that? Before the woman could answer, Rami burst through the door, panting. Zara? He shouted. Zara turned and smiled. Oh, Rami, I found clothing. Look. The shopkeeper frowned. Sir, do you know her? Yes, Rami said quickly. She's my cousin from very far away, visiting. Zara looked confused. Cousin? What does that mean? Rami laughed nervously. A joke. She's funny. Very funny. He grabbed her hand. We need to go. Now. Back at the apartment, Rami sat her down. Please, he said. You can't just walk out like that. It's dangerous. Zara looked down. I'm sorry. I just wanted to see more. I know, he said. But people here don't know aliens are real. They're not ready. Zara nodded slowly. I understand. I'll be more careful. Just then, his phone buzzed. A message appeared from an unknown sender. I know what you did, Rami. I saw the game. I saw them. Let's talk. Keth X. Rami stared at the screen. Who was Keth X? How did they know about the game, and what did they want? His hands trembled. Outside the window, storm. Clouds gathered again. Something bigger was coming, something that had already begun. Rami stared at his phone screen. The message from the stranger named Keth X made his chest feel heavy. I know what you did, Rami. I saw the game. I saw them. Let's talk. Keth X. He read it again and again. Who was this person? Was it a hacker, a scientist, or someone else who had also seen the aliens? Zara walked into the room quietly. You look troubled again. Rami showed her the message. Someone knows about you. About all of this. She looked at the screen and raised an eyebrow. Keth X. I've never heard this name. Rami sat back in his chair. I think I need to reply. Later that night, Rami sat at his computer. The lights were dim. The other aliens had gone quiet, staying inside the apartment to avoid more problems. He opened a private chat window and typed a message to Keth X. Who are you? How do you know about the game? A reply came within seconds. I'm not from your world. I was part of the signal that touched your system. You opened the door. Rami blinked. Part of the signal? He typed again. You're from the signal that came into my VR engine? Yes, your game connected with it. The characters became more than code. Rami felt cold. This wasn't a normal person. This was something else. Why did this happen? What are you? I am Keth X. I was a mind once, a scientist from another world. I turned my thoughts into code and sent them across the stars, hoping someone, anyone, would respond. Rami leaned forward, reading carefully. The signal was looking for a match, a system with emotion, imagination, and design. Your game was perfect. It gave form to the signal. That's how your alien characters became real. Rami's heart beat fast. So, it wasn't just my coding? No, it was both. Your creativity gave the signal structure. The signal gave your code life. Rami whispered. Unbelievable. He typed one more question. Why are you messaging me now? Because you are in danger. The connection is still open. If too many characters cross into your world, Earth's reality may begin to break. The balance is fragile. Rami stared at the screen. What do I do? We must meet. I can explain more, but only in the place where signal meets code. The game? Yes, enter Galactic Hearts. I'll find you there. Then the chat closed. The next day, Rami told the aliens everything. Zara listened quietly, her golden eyes glowing. Thonks rumbled with worry. Vila floated back and forth, nervous. You're saying more characters might come? Thonks asked. Yes, Rami said, and Earth might not be able to handle it. Zara stood. Then we need to help you close the connection. I have to go into the game again, Rami explained. Into the place where the real and the digital mix. That's where Keth X is waiting. I will go with you, Zara said. Rami nodded. Okay, but we must be careful. That night, Rami put on the VR headset and entered the Galactic Hearts game world. But this time, it wasn't like before. The world around him flickered. The sky was dark. Stars blinked in strange colors. Code. Lines floated in the air like strings of light. Zara appeared beside him, shimmering like a dream. This place feels different now, she said. Then from the shadows, a new figure stepped forward. Tall, thin, wearing a long silver cloak. His face was made of shifting data and light. I am Keth X, the figure said. His voice echoed in the air. Rami stepped forward. Are you real? I was real. Long ago. On a planet called Ainari. We were a curious people. We studied thought, dreams, and the power of mind. But our world was dying. So I sent my thoughts into space, hoping to survive in another form. Rami's eyes widened. And my game gave you that form. Keth X nodded. Yes, but not just me. The energy that brought your characters to life is still active. And it's growing. Zara asked, what will happen if more crossover? The signal will pull more data into the real world, Keth X said. Not just characters, environments, logic rules, alien physics. Your world may begin to change. Rami frowned. How do we stop it? You must build a middle place, Keth X explained. A realm between your reality and the signal. A place where your characters can live, but won't damage Earth. A pocket world, Rami whispered. Yes, Keth X said, and I will help you. But the window is closing. If the signal spreads too far, you won't be able to stop it. Rami looked at Zara. She nodded. We'll build it together. Back. In the real world, Rami removed the VR headset and stood up. I know what we need to do, he said. Zara smiled. A new world? Yes, Rami said. A stable one. A digital home. I'll call it Star Home. Vila clapped her hands with joy. It sounds beautiful. Thonks gave a deep nod. I will guard this star home. Zara placed her hand over Rami's. You gave us life. Now we help you protect yours. Outside, the storm clouds were fading. But something strange was in the air, something watching, something waiting. The connection was still open, and time was running out. The next morning, Rami was hard at work. His eyes were heavy from no sleep, but his fingers moved quickly on the keyboard. His goal was clear now. He had to build Star Home, a digital world between Earth and the alien signal, a place where the living characters could stay safely. The living room was filled with wires, blinking screens, and half-eaten snacks. The aliens watched quietly, knowing this was serious. Zara sat beside Rami, helping where she could. Vila floated near the window, drawing energy symbols in the air. Thonks sat like a stone, guarding the apartment door. But then, something changed. Loud sound came from outside. Rami looked up. Where's Zara? He asked. Vila spun around. She was here a moment ago. Thonks's eyes glowed. She left. I heard the door. Rami ran to the hallway. The front door was wide open. Zara moved through the busy city street, her eyes full of wonder. She wore human clothes again, jeans, a hoodie, and sunglasses. Her skin shimmered softly, but most people didn't notice. I want to feel Earth one last time before we move to Star Home, she whispered. People passed her by, not knowing who or what she really was. She smiled at street music, watched birds fly above, and smelled flowers in a shop window. But she wasn't alone. A man in a black cap stood across the road, watching her carefully. He spoke into a hidden mic. Target found. Female alien is walking near South Market. Looks human, but scan shows non-Earth energy. His name was Agent Darren. He worked for a private tech group that tracked unusual energy signals. When Rami's game started making noise in digital space, they noticed. We move in 2 minutes, Darren said to his team. Back in the apartment, Rami paced the floor. I told her not to go out again, he said. Vila tried to comfort him. She just wants to see your world. That's not safe, Rami said. People are watching, and now someone named Keth X is helping us. But what if others see us as a threat? Just then, his screen flashed, a red warning. Unusual activity detected. Downtown energy spike near player character Zara. Rami froze. She's in trouble. Zara entered a clothing shop filled with shiny shoes and colorful dresses. She ran her fingers over the soft fabric, amazed by how different everything felt. I wish we had these on my home planet, she said softly. The shop worker smiled. Looking for something special? Zara smiled back. I'm not sure. Everything is new. Suddenly, the door opened, and 2 men in dark suits walked in. They didn't look like shoppers. Their eyes locked on Zara. Miss, one said. Can we speak with you? Zara's smile faded. Who are you? Government Science Division, the man lied. Please come with us. It's important. Zara stepped back. I don't want trouble. We don't want trouble either, said Agent Darren, stepping inside behind his team. But you're not from here, are you? Zara's sunglasses fell off, revealing her glowing golden eyes. People in the shop gasped. Alien! Someone shouted. Zara turned and ran. Outside, crowds moved aside as Zara dashed through the market street. People screamed, took pictures, and called the police. Zara ran faster, her alien energy pulsing around her. Her disguise started to fade. Her true self shimmered, her skin brighter, her steps lighter. She leaped over a table, turned a corner, and ran down an alley, but Darren and his team were fast. She's headed toward the river, one shouted. Back at the apartment, Rami watched the city map on his screen. Zara's location flashed like a signal. She's running, he whispered. They found her. Thonk stood up. We go. Rami grabbed his backpack, loaded it with portable tech, and nodded. Let's get her back. Zara reached the edge of the river, breathing hard. She looked at the water, then back at the agents. They were closing in. You don't belong here, Darren said calmly. Let us help you. Zara shook her head. You don't want to help. You want to control. A glowing orb formed in her hand. I don't want to fight. Darren raised a device. Then don't. Just then, a loud voice shouted, Zara! She turned. Rami was running toward her, holding out a small glowing disc. Touch this! Zara reached for the disc. Before the agents could stop them, she and Rami vanished in a flash of blue light. They reappeared in the apartment seconds later. Zara fell to the floor, shaking. I'm sorry, she said. I didn't know they would come. Rami placed a hand on her shoulder. It's okay. You're safe now. Thonks stepped in. This confirms it. The humans are watching. Vila added, We need Starhome, soon. Rami nodded. No more mistakes, no more wandering. From now on, we stick together. He turned. Back to his computer. He had no more time to wait. Later that night, Zara stood at the window watching the stars. Rami walked up beside her. I just wanted to see your world one more time, she said. It's beautiful. I know, he replied. That's why I'm trying to protect it. She looked at him with soft eyes. And us? Rami smiled. You're part of it now. Outside, the city lights glowed, but far above, something else glowed too, a second signal, another presence. More characters were coming, and the real game had only just begun. The room was quiet, but Rami's thoughts were loud. He sat in front of his screen, watching strange code flow like a river. Zara stood behind him, calm but alert. Thonks and Vila stayed nearby, watching the windows, waiting for any sign of danger. The group that had chased Zara was still out there, and now more signals were appearing across the network. Rami could see them. Glitches, energy spikes, and warnings. Kethx was right, Rami said softly. The connection is spreading. Zara leaned closer. Are more characters coming? Yes, he said. And I don't know how many. Some may not be friendly. Just then, the screen flashed. Incoming connection. Kethx, accept. Rami clicked yes. Kethx appeared on the screen, his figure made of shifting data and light. You've seen what I warned you about, Kethx said. Rami nodded. Zara was almost taken, and now more game files are opening on their own. The signal has touched more systems, Kethx replied. Other devices, other copies of your game. The code is leaking. If it continues, reality will twist. Vila floated beside Rami. Can we stop it? Kethx paused. Yes, but not without risk. You must finish building Starhome. You must move the characters there before the code becomes permanent in your world. Rami rubbed his forehead. I'm trying, but I need more time. The framework is too heavy for my system. I can help, Kethx said, but you must come deeper into the signal space. Inside the game again? Rami asked. Not just the game, Kethx answered. Into the core, where signal meets soul, Thonks rumbled. Sounds dangerous. It is, Kethx said. But it is the only way. Zara stepped forward. I will go with him. No, Rami said. It might be a trap. Kethx shook his head. It is not. I am your ally. I want peace. For your world and mine. Rami looked at the others. Then he nodded. I'll go. Inside the signal space, Rami floated through a strange, glowing tunnel. Data moved around him like wind. The air felt thick, and his thoughts echoed. Back at him, then the space opened into a huge platform made of floating cubes. Lights flashed in slow patterns. A tall figure appeared in the middle, Kethx. But this time, he looked different, more human, like a mix of man and machine, with eyes full of memory. "You've reached the core," Kethek said. "Here, I can give you what you need." "What are you really?" Rami asked. "I was once a mind," Kethek explained, "a living being from the planet Ainari. Our world knew it was dying, so we created the signal, a path through space made of thought and light. I entered it to find new minds, new homes. And you found me," Rami said. "Yes," Kethek replied. "Your game had the perfect mix, emotion, logic, and imagination. It shaped the signal into life." "Is that why my characters are alive?" Rami asked. "Yes, they are part of your design, but also part of me. A mix of code and soul." Rami looked down. "I gave them voices. You gave them breath." Kethek nodded. "But now the door is too wide. Too many are coming. You must build Starhome fast." He raised a hand. A glowing orb floated out. "This is a data seed," he said. "It contains structure for your new world. Use it to finish Starhome." Rami took it. Then Kethek looked up. His glow dimmed. "They are coming." "Who?" Rami asked. "Not all. Characters from your game were kind," Kethek said. "Some were made for conflict, for fun. Enemies, rivals. They too have crossed over." "Where are they now?" Rami whispered. "Scattered," Kethek said. "But one is close." Back in the apartment, Vila hovered near the door. She felt a strange energy outside. "Someone's coming," she said. Thonks stood, arms ready. Zara pulled Rami's headset, off just as his eyes opened. "I have the data," he said, holding the small, glowing drive. But before they could react, the lights went out. A loud crash shook the wall. A deep voice echoed. "Creator, I have found you." A large figure smashed through the front wall. It was one of Rami's old test characters, Crawl, a villain from the early version of the game. A warlord made of steel and shadow. He was meant to be a joke, a challenge in one of the failed levels. Now, he was real and angry. "You left me in broken code," Crawl growled. "I remember everything." Rami backed away. "You weren't supposed to exist anymore." "But I do," Crawl roared. "And I want revenge." Thonks rushed forward and slammed into Crawl, but the warlord pushed him back with one hand. Zara ran to Rami. "Use the seed!" "What?" Rami shouted. "Activate Starhome!" she yelled. Rami pulled out the data seed. His hands shook as he inserted it into the system. The screen lit up. Starhome booting. 10%. 25%. Crawl stormed toward Rami, eyes glowing red. "You cannot escape me!" Zara stood in front of Rami, arms wide. "You must go through me!" Crawl raised his fist. Starhome booting. 65%. 90%. Vila flew forward, her body glowing bright. "Now!" she screamed. Rami hit the final button. A wave of blue light burst from the computer. It swallowed the entire room. Crawl roared as the light pulled him backward. Then, silence. A moment. Later, Rami opened his eyes. The room was whole again. No damage. No smoke. But something was different. He looked around. He wasn't in his apartment anymore. He stood in a wide digital world made of floating gardens, glowing rivers, and a sky full of stars. Zara, Thonks, and Vila stood beside him. "We're in Starhome," Zara said, smiling. Rami looked at the sky. He had done it, but the battle was not over. More characters were coming, and Earth was still watching. Rami stood in the middle of Starhome, a new world glowing with soft blue light and floating stars. The ground under his feet felt real, but it wasn't Earth. It was a place made from both code and signal, a safe middle world between realities. Zara, Vila, and Thonks stood beside him. They looked around in wonder. "It's beautiful," Vila whispered. Thonks stomped once. "Strong ground, good structure. I approve." Zara stepped forward and turned in a slow circle. You built this for us. Rami nodded. With help from KethX, and from all of you. Starhome was not just a copy of the game, it was something more. Here, the alien characters could exist without hurting Earth's reality. No one could track them here. No agent could break through. Rami had done the impossible. He had made a home for living data, but peace didn't last long. A soft alarm blinked in the sky. A floating red message appeared. Warning, new arrivals detected. Signal link still active. Rami frowned. It's not over. More are still coming, through the connection. Zara stepped closer. What if they don't want peace? We must welcome them, Vila said. But we also must protect this place. Thonks raised a thick arm. We need defenses and rules. Rami looked at the sky. No one ever planned for this. Not me, not KethX. I made a silly dating sim. I just wanted to make people laugh. But now it's real, Zara said gently. And you have to choose what comes next. That evening, Rami called a meeting with all the characters who had crossed over and were now safely inside Starhome. They gathered in the main plaza, sitting on glowing seats made of light and air. Many looked confused, others curious. Some had strange bodies, glowing. Shells, spinning eyes, wings made of wires. But all of them were alive now, with thoughts and feelings. Rami stood in front of them, nervous but determined. I'm the one who made you, he said. I built your worlds, your stories, your designs. But I never thought any of you would be real. The characters whispered among themselves. I know you're confused, he continued. I know some of you feel lost. But you are not just code anymore. You are people. You think, you feel, and you deserve to live. A voice called. Out, what about Earth? Another said. Will we go back? Rami shook his head. We can't go back. Earth's reality wasn't made for you. If too many of you return, things will break. Your presence changes space, time, even logic, Thonks added. Some already tried. It didn't go well. Zara stepped forward. This place, Starhome, is your new world. It's safe. It's free. You can build your lives here. But we need to agree on one thing. Rami finished her sentence. No one leaves without a reason. No one harms Earth. The crowd went quiet. Then one character stood up. He was tall, glowing with green light, and had a face like a puzzle. His name was Telrin, a deep choice character Rami barely remembered adding. Why should we trust you? Creator? Telrin asked. You made us, yes, but we were left in silence. We lived in memory loops. Now we're here, and you give us rules. Rami looked him in the eye. I don't want to control you. I want to protect all of you. But if you go back to Earth, people will try to trap you, use you, or destroy you. Vila floated forward. We choose freedom here. Telrin paused, then slowly nodded. I will stay. But let it be known, we are not just your designs anymore. We are our own people now, the others murmured in agreement. Rami smiled. Then let's make this world yours. Build your homes, create your cities, use your knowledge, help each other. The plaza slowly filled with light as characters activated their inner tools, energy from the signal, now used to shape the land. Buildings began to rise, trees grew from data. Lights danced in the sky, Starhome was alive, but even as peace settled in, Rami felt something else. He walked alone to a quiet hilltop where a single tree stood made of crystal leaves. Zara followed him. You're worried, she said. He nodded. The connection is still open. More may come, and I don't know how long we can hold this world. Zara sat beside him. Then we will grow stronger, together. Rami looked at her. I thought I was done with game design. I thought I was done with everything. But you found something new, Zara said. A reason to keep going. Rami smiled slightly. Yeah, I guess I did. She touched his hand gently. This may have started as a game, but now it's a galaxy of choices. He looked up at the sky, where digital stars sparkled. Then let's make the right ones. Back on Earth, Agent Darren stood in front of a large black screen. Behind him, men in suits moved in silence. The screen blinked once. Project Galactic Hearts has gone silent, one said. Darren narrowed his eyes. They moved it. Somewhere we can't trace. Should we continue the search? The agent asked. No, Darren replied. Not yet. Let them build their world. He turned slowly. But one day we'll visit it too. Back in Starhome, a new building rose in the center. A wide hall filled with screens, music, and glowing doors. It was a place for humans to connect safely, to talk, learn, and maybe even play. Rami stood at the gate with a new name on the sign. Galactic. Hearts. A place for all and above. The stars shimmered like dreams. A bright sun rose above Starhome, casting warm golden light over the strange but beautiful land. Floating islands hung in the sky. Trees made of glass sparkled in the breeze. Paths of starlight led to places where alien characters had built homes, gardens, and even small towns. Rami stood on a balcony of the main tower, watching the city below. He wore a simple shirt and soft boots made from digital fabric. He had not left Starhome in many days. It felt more like home than Earth ever did. Zara joined him, carrying 2 mugs of glowing blue tea. Still no sleep? She asked with a smile. Rami took a mug and laughed. Too much to build, too many ideas, and too many bugs to fix. She leaned on the rail beside him. You're still a game designer even here. He looked at her. Maybe, but now I'm not designing games. I'm designing a world. For all of us. In the plaza below, many alien characters were busy. A group of winged beings were painting skies with color codes. A lizard-like artist sculpted floating symbols in midair. 2 large creatures were teaching a class on Earth culture, using Rami's old cartoons as examples. One corner of the plaza held a bridge room where humans could safely visit Starhome through controlled links. These visitors wore special VR suits and interacted with characters like guests at a theme park, but with real conversations and friendships. Galactic Hearts was no longer just a dating sim. It was now a peaceful network between Earth and a digital alien world. Later that day, Rami walked through a garden of glowing leaves. He met with Vila and Thonks, who had just finished building a new structure, a library that held both digital and alien knowledge. We saved stories, Vila said. Not just human, but ours too, Thonks grunted proudly. Even history of my people from before the signal. Rami raised an eyebrow. I thought you didn't have a real past. Thonks shrugged. I built it. I remember it now. Is memory fake if it gives meaning? Rami smiled. No, it's real if it matters to you. Vila tilted her head. And what about your world? Earth? Will they forget you? Rami paused. Some might. But others are still logging in. Curious people. Kind ones. He looked at the screen on his wrist, showing visitor logs. A growing list of names from all over Earth appeared. Some came to explore, some came to learn, and some just came to talk. Meanwhile, deep in a quiet room, a voice spoke softly. You gave them more than you know, Rami. It was Keth X, now fully restored as a glowing orb of thought and light. He floated in the middle of a sealed chamber, linked to both Starhome and the original alien signal. You allowed new life to grow, Keith X continued. You turned code into culture. I didn't plan it, Rami said. But you chose it, Keth X replied. and that is what makes humans special. Rami sat beside the orb. Are there more like you out there? Yes, Kethax said. Other signals, other minds. They will find us. In time. Rami took a deep breath. Then we should be ready. Weeks passed. Galactic Hearts became more than a hidden place. It became a bridge between people, a world where humans and aliens shared ideas, stories, and art. There were no battles, no invasions, no fear. Only learning, creation, and bonds. Zumi opened a digital fashion store, where Earth users bought alien-inspired clothing. Vila taught Earth students about alien language patterns. Thonks started a cooking show where he taught how to make food with floating fire rocks. Even Telrin, the once angry character, became a poet, writing verses about new life and choice. Then one day, the connection from Earth glitched. A warning light flashed. Rami rushed to the control tower. Kethax met him there. What is it? Rami asked. Kethax floated slowly. It is not an attack. It is an invitation. The screen showed a signal, a peaceful one, from Earth's Science Council. The message read, We see you. We respect what you've built. We ask to visit, to talk, not as rulers but as guests. Rami looked at the message for a long moment. Zara walked in, sensing something was happening. What will you say? She asked. Rami smiled slowly. I'll say yes, but this time they will come here, as learners, not controllers. The first Earth visitors came wearing clean suits and careful smiles. Scientists, teachers, students. They walked through Starhome slowly, amazed by what they saw. They listened to Vila's music. They danced with glowing aliens. They shared human stories and ate strange foods made by Thonks. One young girl from Earth said softly, This place feels like a dream. Rami replied, It was, but now it's real. That night, a new light appeared in the sky of Starhome, a gift from Earth scientists, a satellite coded to keep the signal link open forever. Now, Starhome was stable, its connection strong, its people safe. Zara and Rami stood on a tall bridge, watching the stars. Do you think more people will come? Zara asked. Yes, Rami said. More people, more ideas, maybe even more worlds. She leaned against him. You started all of this with one silly game, he laughed. Maybe games aren't silly after all. They stood quietly as the stars above shimmered like tiny hopes. Below, in the center of the plaza, the main gate of Starhome glowed, with bright letters. Galactic Hearts, where stories begin a world for all end. It was only the beginning.